This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Oh, all right. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESPN. Here we go. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good.
This is a whole fucking conversation. I didn't call for one damn time.
I know. Just a little tired. Had a rough night at work last night. Trying to kill me, but doing pretty good. Well, let's jump right into it. Just a little bit of NBA news, not a lot. But Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns got a 2-year extension worth $145 million. Man, that's 2 years. That's pretty good. Chris, what's your take? Do you think that I've seen some people think that they overpaid for him on that? Do you agree?
I mean, they might have overpaid a little bit, but you almost have to because you traded Durant, you got rid of Bill, or trying to get rid of Bill, and I mean he's the guy you're planning on building around. He's been there, so if you're going to keep him, you're going to have to pay him, and that's with the CBA. That's what he was eligible for was that. So I mean they really didn't have much of a choice. You might be I can't remember exactly what his age is. You might be overpaying him a little bit. He's a hell of a player. I think the biggest problem over the last couple of years is he's been trying to play point guard, and he's really not a true point guard. They need to get a point guard and let him play more of the two. And I think he'd be back to like he was a few years ago. But with Phoenix, there was a lot of injuries, and then you had Bill. You couldn't get rid of him. So now that they're retooling, unless you were just going to completely blow it up and not really have nobody that you're going to build around, that'd be the only way you could have maybe tried to move on from him. But if you were going to move on from him, you would try to get a trade or get something for him instead of just not you know what I mean, you let his contract, not instead of just letting his contract run out. So I think it's a smart move. I mean that's the guy they're trying to build around. So they got him locked up for a couple of years. Now they got to try to put some pieces around him.
So you brought up Bill. Do you think that because Bill's going to be able to go somewhere, and you're probably going to be able to get him cheap at a good price because he's going to be still getting paid a lot of money? Do you think there's a place out there that Bill might fit in and be able to help?
I mean, he could. I mean, he could help quite a few teams if he could stay on the court. That's his biggest problem is injuries. And not being healthy, and he's a little bit ball dominant. I know I've heard it sounded like the Clippers were a favorite there for the last couple of days. I hadn't really heard much about the trade with him, or not trade, but somebody getting him much today. I know the Lakers were mentioned. I don't know what would be like a great fit for him. Probably somewhere. I would say probably somewhere like the Lakers or somewhere like that has a guy that's a pretty dominant, pretty good leader, and might be able to help kind of get him to stay on track and buy into what the culture. So I'd say maybe a guy maybe somewhere like the Lakers, because you have LeBron there that's going to kind of, you know, I mean, he's going to have enough respect for LeBron. You would think that maybe he would buy in somewhere like that that has a strong leader. I think would be a good fit for him.
What about a team like, and I'm not saying they need them because they've made some good deals, but what about a team like Denver?
Yes, that wouldn't be bad.
Because Westbrook left, and
that wouldn't be terrible.
Well, moving on from that, I don't know if you seen this. I've seen a Fox article. WNBA fans are upset that Angel Reese is going to be on the cover of NBA 2K26. instead of Caitlin Clark. A lot of fans are upset. Now, just to let everybody know that she'll be on the cover with some other WNBA players, Candace Parker, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Angel Wilson. They will all be on WNBA special edition covers. So, but Caitlin Clark is not going to be on that cover, and there's some fans upset about it. What's your take on that, Chris? What do you think? You think that's fair? Should they be upset or?
I mean, if you want to be upset, be upset. I think it's whoever made the decision. I think you're missing out on a lot of money. I don't know how many people actually buy the WNBA, the special edition like cover, because most because like nowadays the way games work, a lot of it's bought digital. So it ain't like when I was growing up and we'd go to the store and you'd buy a game and you brought the physical game home. Now a lot of times, I mean, I think you can still buy some physical games, but a lot of times you're just buying it digital, right from Microsoft or PlayStation or whoever. You're just buying it digital, and then you just download it onto your system. So you don't even have a lot of times you don't even have actual disc or anything anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people actually pay like that and get the special edition covers. I'm sure there are some. I don't know how many are buying the WNBA one. But you're going to sell a lot more WNBA ones if you have Caitlin Clark on there than anybody else. And nothing against any other player. She's just the most popular player right now. So I think you're missing out there. I don't know if it was a W. I don't know who makes that decision. If it's 2K, if it's the W, you know what I mean? If it's WNBA, I'm assuming it's probably 2K. And if it was 2K, I think it's bad marketing. Strategy. I mean, you have a player in Caitlin Clark where it'll draw more eyeballs than anybody else, almost man or woman right now. So So to me, you're missing out. If you're 2K, you're missing out on an opportunity. Like I said, I think that's who made the decision would be 2K. I don't know. If it's the WNBA, it's just another thing where they're kind of it'd just be if it was a WNBA, in my opinion, it'd be another case of them fumbling the ball since they've gotten Caitlin Clark in the league. But I'd be more apt to think this was a 2K decision since they're the ones that make the games. I would say they probably decided who was on the cover. But like I said, I don't even know how many people actually are going to pay and get a special edition WNBA cover.
Chris, I'm not a gamer. I don't play any games. Never have. I know you play a little bit, some sporting games and stuff. In that in the NBA, 2K26, do you know, will WNBA players be featured in that?
Well, that's what this is a cover for. See, the WNBA don't have their own game. It's a part of the NBA 2K game.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they make like a special edition WNBA cover. But it's the same game. It's part of the new NBA 2K 26 or whatever it is. Yeah, it's not a whole separate game.
The thing that's weird for me, I don't have a problem with Angel Reese being on the cover because I think she brings some eyeballs too, different eyeballs than maybe what Caitlin Clark would bring. But how do you and the other players? But how do you not have Caitlin Clark on the cover with them other players? If you're featuring all those players. Again, like you said, she's by far the most popular player. That's bad marketing on whoever made that decision.
Yep.
Moving on to a little bit of baseball, just for our buddy Jay, the Houston Astros are in a slump now. They lost their third game in a row.
Frankie saying the Astros getting swept is amazing.
Yeah. That like me and Chris has said, the Reds are the only team this year in baseball that's not been swept. We avoided that yesterday. We still got another game left with.
We could split. Yeah, we could split the series if we could.
Yes, and we need to. We need to. Abbott had great.
I was say Andrew Abbott pitched a hell of a game last night. Had a shutout going into the eighth inning. End up being responsible for one run in the eighth. after they ended up taking him out. And that single to start that inning was one of the softest singles I've ever seen. And then that guy ended up, they were in the score, or the bullpen ended up letting that guy score. But after that, we played pretty good.
Yeah, I did want to ask you in that article that I'm getting ready to bring up about some destinations of all-star players. Jeff Passan.
Here's something that's crazy. Andrew Abbott has the 4th lowest ERA in Major League Baseball. The 4th lowest, and was left off the All-Star team until.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to bring up.
That is how, you know, when they said that, because I knew he was like, I knew he got snubbed, but then I was like, man. And then they started naming off some of that stuff, and they said he had the 4th lowest ERA in baseball, and it's like he started like 16 games and it's like 8-1. It's like, how is this dude not?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
he goes deep into games usually. Like last night, he ended up throwing like 98 pitches and went like 8 and a third or something.
Yeah, he's kind of a throwback. He reminds me of I tell you who he reminds me of, to see if you agree. He reminds me of an old Reds pitcher, Tom Browning.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
That's who he kind of reminds me of. Yeah,
I like watching him pitch. I'll be honest with you. That's one reason why I watched almost that whole game last night, was because usually I might listen to the first few innings on the radio, and then when I get home, watch it. But I made sure to get home around 7:15 because Abbott was pitching, and I like watching him pitch. And Reds hit the ball last night. Dela Cruz was on fire. I mean, McLean hit the ball decent. Marte hit the ball good. Dude can't play no damn defense. But Benson, I think, ended up hitting a home run late in the game. Like bats came alive a little bit.
Chris, I was going to ask you, why do you think the Reds have had much of a hard time filling third base? That has been a problem for them for several years now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Suarez wasn't the best third baseman, but he was better he was better defensively than what we've had.
Yeah,
I really thought Marte was going to be the guy for us, but his defensively, and right now he's in his head. Right now he's in his head trying to throw the ball to. Now you can see when he gets the ball, like he's thinking about it, and he's kind of hesitating a little bit. So he has to figure that out. But yeah, they played Espinal there in the late innings last night, and Espinal's not bad. Espinal isn't terrible over there. He almost threw one. He threw one a little high last night, but it wasn't. But yeah, Marte had a couple. One, the guy was safe because he pulled Steer off the bag. The other ones, he got lucky. Steer jumped like 3 foot up and caught it and was able to tag the guy on the way down. Or because that one, I mean, it was going, hell, maybe in the dugout.
So Abbott made the All-Star team due to an injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was an injury, or somebody couldn't play.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure it was official, but when I read this article that we were getting ready to go into from Jeff Passan, he mentioned that when he was talking about the Reds, he mentioned that Abbott, was an all-star, and they had Green and, about the pitchers they had and stuff during that article. Well, let's go into some baseball. Like I said, did Astros have lost 3 in a row? I know we're not like some of these other guys. You lose 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 6 in a row, and the sky's falling. The Astros were due to hit a stretch. I mean, hopefully, for Jay, it's only a 3-game stretch, but I mean, they was the best team in June.
I hope it's a 10-game. I hope it's a 10-game stretch.
Them and Toronto have been the best teams.
Jay will be out here having a nervous breakdown if they go on a 10-game skid.
Oh, yeah, he would. Yeah, he would.
And if Frankie'd be out here talking all kinds of shit, it'd be hilarious.
It would be great, that's for sure. But I looked at this article that Passan did, and here's the Astros and the Yankees and the Reds. There was other teams. Any team that had a winning record, he went to, who would be a good fit for them. And the Houston Astros, he said Seth Lugo, the Kansas City Chiefs pitcher. That's who he thought would be the perfect fit for them. You familiar with Lugo?
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad pickup.
Yeah, he's got a 2.67 ERA. The Yankees, also he had down Seth Lugo or Emmanuel Class of the Cleveland Guardians. I almost had another name, but the Cleveland Guardians.
I wish the Reds would get that dude.
The last one, Class.
Yeah, he's a hell of a closer.
And then they also had a hitter, Suarez. He thinks Suarez would be a good fit for the Yankees.
Yeah, he'd be another home run guy, a home run or strikeout.
And let's get your take on what he said for the Cincinnati Reds. He had Stephen Kwan, Cleveland, and Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves. Both outfielders. I think Ozuna's an outfielder. I know Kwan's a left fielder. He thinks the worst thing they need. He thinks that the starting pitching's good. He did mention the bullpen, but he didn't have any players down from bullpen. But he thought bat, and he thought Kwan of Cleveland and Ozuna of Atlanta would be good fits. What do you think?
Yeah, they wouldn't. I was trying to see if I can find it here.
Yeah, Kwan. I looked. I seen his numbers, batting about 270, I think.
Yeah, Kwan wouldn't be a bad pickup. I was trying to look up Ozuna. He's hitting 239 with 12 home runs, 41 RBIs. Only thing is, I understand we kind of need another. You want to get another bat, but and both them guys would. I mean, I would add a little something to our team, but do we really need another outfielder?
Yeah.
I'd be trying to get maybe a bat that could play third.
Yeah. The name has been brought up as Suarez. I know he's been with the Reds before, but that name's been brought up.
I mean, you're getting ready to get because you're getting ready to get Jake Fraley back as well, who's usually your starter and right. You're getting. I think it was last night. They said he'll be back. Should be back. Maybe one of the games before the All-Star break. If not, it'll be after the All-Star break. He's going to be back. So I mean, I don't know. We got quite a few outfielders. I mean, I guess if you're bringing one of them guys, you're going to probably get rid of one of the outfielders that you have. But yeah, to me, it's figuring out third base.
Yeah,
and Pagan's been closing pretty good, but another arm in the bullpen wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
that guy from Cleveland would be the one he had to go into the Yankees. That'd be a good. I'd love to have him in the bullpen for the Reds. That Clase. That dude was one of the best closers in baseball last year or the year before. He's pretty good. But with closers, it's streaky too, because 2 years ago, Diaz was one of the best damn closers in baseball. And then all of a sudden last year, he forgot. It was like he forgot how to close.
Yeah. Has he been pitching? Has he been pitching much for the Dodgers this year?
I don't know. I haven't. I'm not sure. I think Stevie had mentioned something about him the other day, but I don't know how much he's been pitching for the Dodgers. Stevie watches a lot more of the Dodgers than I do because Steve watches them.
I watched. If there's nothing on, if your mom's here, we'll watch the Dodgers because she's a Dodger fan. But if there's nothing on, I'll turn over and watch San Diego or Arizona because they're late night games, and San Francisco sometimes. But I see the Dodgers quite a bit. Well, the last thing I have is some NFL, and it's NFL executives, coaches, and scouts ranked the top 10 defensive tackles for 2025. I was going to ask you, Chris, is there anybody that you would think might be in your opinion, number one on this list? Is there anybody you think of? This is defensive tackles, not ends. A Colt did make the list, top 10.
Who's that? Stewart?
No, DeForest Buckner.
Oh yeah, Buckner.
He came in at number 8 on their list.
Trying to think who else plays a tackle. That's my problem. I just think of like defensive lineman. I'm trying to think who's like.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't know defensive tackles that well because there's definitely guys that's in this top 10 list I didn't know. Of course, I know Buckner, but there were some on the list. I'll be honest with you, the guy's number 1 on the list. I'm not going to say I've not heard his name before, but I'm not a fan of that team. So the number 1 on the list was Dexter Lawrence, the second of the Giants. He was number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, of course, I've seen they're on TV all the time, so I knew this name, Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I was going to say Jones had to be up there top 2 or 3.
3 was Jalen Carter of the Eagles. 4
He's only been in the league a couple years.
I know. Number 4, Jeffrey Simmons of the Titans. Number 5, Quentin Williams of the Jets. Number 6, Leonard Williams of the Seahawks. Number 7, I'm not even going to try the first name, Matabuki of the Ravens. 7, 8, Buckner of Colts. 9, Benavi of Tampa Bay. And 10, Cameron Haywood of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Now, Haywood's a name that I know. Was you surprised he was down that low?
Not really. Not really. Excuse me. With the names that you said, not really, because all them guys are. That Vita Vea for Tampa's tough. He's been one of the best in the game for a while.
You think Buckner was about right where it should be, or do you think it should have been higher or lower?
He's probably about right.
Now, Lawrence is a name that I wasn't real familiar with, just being honest. Do you think he
Lawrence, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's good. Lawrence is tough.
Okay. Don't see a lot of the Giants. I recognize Jalen Carter because I see the Eagles a lot on TV. You see Jones a lot on TV.
Yeah, I watched Carter a lot in college as well with Georgia.
Yeah. Well, Chris, you got anything else for today? If not, we'll get out of here.
No, I don't think I do. Other than hopefully the Reds can get another win here in a couple hours.
And
it's a weird start time. Why the hell are you starting the game? Why are you starting the game at 5:10? That's like the weirdest start time. Like usually it's either like 1 or 2 o'clock or it's a night game.
Well, sometimes it's even when they do them businessman specials, sometimes it's 12:10.
Yeah, but you never heard of get a game at like 5. It's usually either during like early in the day or it's at least like 7 o'clock.
Now I do have a list for tomorrow, and it's the same thing: executives and coaches and scouts of the NFL ranked players, and this is for the best edge rushers. So we'll do that tomorrow in the NFL. And of course, all the names on this list I recognize. I know all of them, but it'll be interesting to see what you and Jay thinks of who was number 1 and who was number 10 and how this went. So we'll do that tomorrow.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at ESEN. Check us out on all social media as well. And we'll be back tomorrow right around 2 o'clock.